So this is our setup. This is just a bin, a galvanized bin that we got it from B&Q. Got holes drilled all over the place here. The center one, which matches to the center place in here for the pot. I've also got some clamps, which I'm going to put over here to hold the pot in place. Now this is the second pot I got. The first one I got was a terracota pot, which was only half an inch thicker, and I bet you if you're starting a new tandoor or a clay one, then best to get something like this, which is rough around an inch thick for the base, purely because there's too much heat over here and it'll eventually crack, so you'll have to take everything out. Definitely crack because it's just the heat will not be able to handle. What I've also done here is got one with a ridge here, so you can put the skewers on the side. On top of that, I have put a layer of clay here. The mixture is clay plus sharp sand. The mixture around 2 to 1, so one part clay, 2 part sharp sand. This hopefully will give it more thermal conductivity or thermal resistance compared to just a normal pot without anything in the base. On here as well, I got another pot which is slightly, I think it's similar thickness, but I coated that with clay as well. Same sort of mixture. The reason for that is that obviously I wanted to have an authentic taste of naans. If you have a normal layer like this, then the naans would be all flat and you won't have any texture inside. It's just a different ball game when you put the clay in. It just fantastic. Just to bear in mind that when you do put clay in, if you do put clay in, you will have a bit of shrinkage, but hasn't caused me any problem. There's no cracks at all. Light it up for a little while with a low heat, and gradually line the clay with a mixture of oil, which is mustard oil, and a bit of spinach puree. That should do the trick. It'll just give you a bit better flavor and give it a bit of a salt bath, and hold it in place. Now initially when you do naans for a few times, you will have loads of grit coming onto naan. You just have to be persistent, and eventually it'll go away and have fantastic naans. That's the base plate, which will be underneath this pot. This broke as well because it's too thin, so I've just fixed it with fire cement, and hopefully it'll all hold that in place. What I'm also intending to do is drill this plate with similar holes, not so many, and put that in here so that the coals are not in direct contact with the base. If it breaks, then the plate will break rather than the base. And I'm going to line this up with those. You got plenty of space inside, so the air will flow. I hope so. That's something new I'm going to try. So once it's all set up, we will have another look and see how it goes. Okay, so we got the hooks on the side just to hold it in place, and we got a base plate in here. This actually covers vermiculite going underneath of the pot. If you have anything like this to support it, then the vermiculite will end up going in there, because we're going to fill it up with vermiculite to give insulation. So let's put the pot in. we go. That is good enough. Now I'm going to fire up, because it's a fresh clay, I'm just going to fire up a little fire with very little coal to get heat ready. I'm going to put the plate in here, put it this way around so there's still got space underneath. Plenty of space for the air to recirculate. And I only drill 4 holes. Just bear in mind that when you drill holes, the more holes you drill, the more weaker it gets and more chances of it being cracked. And I'm sure this will crack, definitely, but it'll protect the base, and I can always repair it with vermiculite. Nice. So with fire cement. Right. Put the top on there. So there we go, the setting's done. I had some legs from the incinerator that I had before, so I put them in, so it gives you a lot of air to come through from the bottom rather than putting in bricks. So if you wanted to move it, you can always move this anywhere you want in the garden.